doing fantastic. It is time for another monthly reset. Cue the part where I say I can't believe it's October, because I really can't believe it's October. Not only that, but it's the end of quarter 3. I'm too stumped for words. We only have one more quarter and then it's the brand new year and we're gonna be doing this all over again. Which brings me to this point, which I would love to know from you guys. Do you want me to continue doing monthly resets for the next year? Because I've been thinking about the types of videos I want to do next year, and if you want me to keep doing monthly resets, I will keep doing monthly resets, but I'm thinking maybe of doing quarter reflections and quarter resets instead, and then maybe talking about what the past 3 months was like and what I'm planning for following 3 months. So let me know your thoughts on that. I haven't really made up my mind yet, but we got 3 months left of the year, 2 more resets left to do, so we got a little bit of time to figure it out. So let me know, and if you don't, I'm just gonna do whatever heck I want to do. Let's not talk too much because I feel like this might be a long video. I got my laptop right here and we're gonna just go ahead and talk about September. All right, so here is the September page that we made, and for YouTube goals, I've said I wanted to pre-film at least 2 videos and then also experiment with editing. With the pre-filming, I did. I'm actually pre-filming right now. The next video that you'll see is the span of a few days, so I finished doing that. And with experimenting with editing, I also did that. I told you guys not to expect a night and day difference. I hope I didn't disappoint, but I'm not very good with like tech stuff and like editing. I'm still pretty new at it. I just know the basics. So I tried to, you know, do a little intro thing. I felt like that was an easy way to experiment, and did a little new things here and there, which made me proud of the videos I made. So hopefully in the future I can continue to experiment more with editing and not just like cut out the silences and mistakes, and I can like put a little flair into it. And I think pre-filming can definitely help with that, because then I have more time for editing and I'm not just like rushing through it. So definitely want to continue this quality over quantity mindset, and yeah, continue doing that. So then the next thing I talked about was priorities, and I said I wanted to figure out my priorities. And with this, I pretty much was inspired to write this down because I felt like a lot of times I would have a lot of things I want to do and just put things that weren't as important over others, and not like huge things, but just like small stuff. Like if I'm feeling hungry, I would just be like, okay, let me just finish up really quickly with this thing for YouTube, or let me just do chores really quickly, like stuff like that. And I'm like, girl, prioritize your meals. Like, I don't feel like this is a big deal. Like I make sure I eat my 3 meals a day, but why sit in hunger? You know what I mean? So I kind of wanted to focus on what is important and when. I came up with this. So first is rest, then responsibilities, and then recreation. I did not mean for them to all start with R, but I love that they do. They're pretty self-explanatory. Like rest, if I'm tired, whether it's physically or mentally, I'm not gonna worry about my responsibilities. Your girl needs to sleep. And not just with sleep, I also feel like if I'm exhausted mentally, let me take a walk, let me read a book, let me watch TV, let me do something that can make my mind rest as well. And that's where I feel like this is kind of very interesting, because, you know, reading a book and watching TV might seem like it should fit under the recreation part of this, but when I have that like mentally or physically exhausted aspect to it, it gotta bump up priorities. Like I'm not going to put chores over like taking a walk if I'm just not feeling myself. So I really like this layout. I feel like it'll help me with having more structure, because even though I know like, hey girl, you should probably get to some sleep, or maybe you should probably eat something, I still feel like sometimes I prioritize like productivity sometimes, and that's not something I'm trying to do. And the worst case scenario is always like, okay, maybe something's like, I just have to do it tomorrow. And like, what's wrong with that? There's literally nothing wrong with that. So this is something that I'm going to be implementing going forward, and helping me with like planning my days and when I do something, and also letting me be a little bit more flexible and not so rigid, because there's a lot of times where I'm like, okay, after work, let me finish a whole video, let me clean the whole apartment, and I'm just so done. I just don't feel like doing that, and I just want to like relax and watch some Big Brother, and I don't feel like that's necessarily recreation, because I need a break, you know what I mean? And of course, if I'm not mentally exhausted and I'm not tired, my book can wait. I gotta clean the apartment, finish my YouTube video, and etc., and then I can like do the other fun stuff. But definitely figured out my priorities. Let's hope hope I stick to them and implement them into my days. Then next, personal. I said that I wanted to spoil myself and then spend more time outside, like at least 10 minutes a day. And with the first thing, I told you guys it was my birthday and I wanted to spoil myself, and I'm always a saver. I save money all the time, and I feel like I wanted to like stop being so frugal and just like spend money on myself, and I did. Your girl got some pairs of shoes, you got some clothes. It's not even stopping there. I still feel like I want to keep going, so this is gonna go in a little bit to October. I'm not like going crazy, but like, girl, if you've been saving for a long time, it's bound to happen where you're like, okay, time to spend some money. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to get new clothes, trying to look and feel 24 and not 16 anymore. So that's what I've been doing, and that's what I'm going to continue to do. But like, I'm not going to spoil myself all the time. With spending more time outside, I did that, but I don't know if I want to click this off just because I didn't do 10 minutes a day. There's a lot of days where I just didn't go outside. And also, it's like raining a lot in Florida right now. Like, it's about to rain. There's clouds outside my window, so it kind of made it hard for me to do that. But you know, also, I will say the at least 10 minutes a day thing is something I added in when I was editing. Like I said, I wanted to spend more time outside, but like, again, it was very broad, and I told you guys in like my August or July reset that I didn't want to have broad things being said, so I did spend more time outside. So I think for October, I'm just gonna make it a little bit more realistic. So those are all the things that I completed for September. I feel like I did pretty good, like almost every single goal, which is pretty good because I think last month I did every goal, but I think there was only 3. I'm kind of on a roll with that. So now we can go ahead and talk about the words that describe this month. First one was reflective, and if you watched my recent girl chat, then you'll know why. But since turning 24 and every birthday I have, I go into crazy reflection mode. I'm thinking about my childhood, I'm thinking about aging, I'm thinking about my parents, I'm thinking about the future. And that's just what I did this month for the most part. Like, I felt like I was in a very reflective state and just thinking a lot. It's like a bittersweet type of thing. So I don't really know what else to say. I kind of saw it coming. So moving on to the second part, I said appreciative. I don't know, I just felt very loved. I felt very happy this month. I had a birthday dinner with my friends. I hung out with my family. It was just an all-around really good time. It makes you think like, oh wow, I'm really like appreciative of all the people in my life, even the ones that aren't close by to me. One of my best friends lives across the country, and we still like celebrate our birthdays with each other and like send each other gifts and FaceTime, and it's just like, I love the people around me. That's it. I just am very appreciative. And then the last one, kind of weird, I put Spanish. And I think it's funny because there's been so many months where I had Spanish goals, and I'll tell you, each and every time I fail. Spanish exercise this many times a day or that many times a day. I always fail whenever it comes to that. The moment I don't put it on my monthly reset, I complete these goals. Me and my family are trying to learn Spanish, and I felt like I was just kind of on a roll. If you saw my latest video, I made a language learning video and my experience learning Spanish and how to speak Spanish, and I had my first ever italki lesson, which went really well, and I had a really good time and experience with that. And also, just all month long, we've been watching Spanish shows, listening to Spanish music on drives, and it just became a routine. Eat dinner, then we watch a show. I highly recommend the show Extra. I've watched Extra so many times already. Like, it's a show that was made to learn languages, and it's about a guy from America who comes to Spain, meets these people, lives with them, and they kind of just do like just regular friend group things, and while the guy from America is learning Spanish, see his progression. And they have it in different languages as well, which I think is really helpful if you're trying to learn other languages. And the plot is the exact same in all the different languages. Yeah, I just really enjoyed watching it, even though I watched it so many times. Now I would like to reflect on Q3, and how I usually like to do this is just go on my Pinterest, because that's where I have my vision board for 2023, and pretty much just talk about where I feel like I am in regards to hitting these goals, and it can help us get a better picture of where I'm trying to head for in Q4, especially now that there's only 1 quarter left. So let's hope that I'm really on the right track. Okay, so here is my Pinterest. At the bottom, I pretty much have books and hobbies that I wanted to get back into. I remember saying how like I used to love hobbies and I felt like I had to disconnect with my hobbies, and I would like to get back into that this year. So that's what all the books and the little embroidery symbolize. I'm not gonna get too much into this just because I'm gonna talk a little bit about this in my next video, which is a little hint, but I feel pretty confident in where I'm at with my hobbies, especially with reading. My channel is kind of a booktube channel now. I love to read and I feel like I've really connected with my hobbies this year. So moving on, now I have pictures of like exercise and eating healthy and all that stuff. It symbolizes exactly what I want, to eat healthy and exercise more. I think with eating healthy, it's also another funny thing, similar to how with Spanish, I used to put it on my monthly resets all the time, how I want to do better with Spanish. I wanted to eat healthier, and then when I would, nothing would happen. But as soon as I stopped putting it on my monthly spreads, a change would happen. I don't know why, but that's just what it is. So with eating healthier, I feel like I'm incorporating more healthy foods into my diet, so that's really good. Exercise, honestly, I don't feel like I made a huge difference, but I feel like I made slight differences. I don't feel comfortable saying like, oh yeah, with exercise I'm super great and I'm like a changed woman from when I wrote this in the beginning of the year, because that's not true. I feel like if I really would feel comfortable saying that like I did this and completed this goal would be if I really focus on it in Q4, because so far I feel like I made a dent, I made a difference, and I feel like I prioritize I don't feel like I prioritize it. That's something. But hopefully with my whole like rest, responsibility, recreation thing can help prioritize it more. Let's see if I can do better in Q4. Pray for me. I'm gonna be praying right there with you, girl. Then I have cameras that just symbolize YouTube and how I really wanted to like go harder, be more consistent. And I feel like I'm kinda a lot better than I was in 2022. So I feel confident about that. And then this one, I have a quote that said, when you create a plan for your money, you're giving your money a purpose. Remember guys, in July, I was talking about how I was not really on YouTube very much, and I had like a whole financial audit of myself, and I did a lot of research about like credit and credit cards and finances and mortgages, and just wanted to educate myself a lot more on finances because I didn't know anything, and that was a huge part of my goals. And so I just put this quote just to remind myself and symbolize, girl, get your finances in check. I feel like July was very transformative for me in regards to finances, and now even my family can attest to this. I don't shut up about it, and I be talking all about the best credit cards for this, how to get the best cash back for this, travel and all that stuff. So I feel very good about my finances right now in terms of like my knowledge, and that's all I really wrote down for my finance goals, was just to educate myself and head into the right direction, because I'm an adult now, even though I have a hard time believing it sometimes. So I need to start acting like it, and finances is so important. I have a girl chat that I want to make at some point. I don't feel like I'm ready for that right now, but I want to talk all about finances because girls, we gotta get on it. And then the last one was just a picture inspired by the vacation I recently took, and it was with my family and how I wanted to spend more time with my family as well. So even though I'm not always at tropical locations like this, I do spend a lot of time with my family, and so I feel also really confident about this. So if I'm being honest, looking at all of these goals, the biggest thing I need to focus on is exercise. If I can get my exercises right, we're gonna have a very successful like recap of the year. So yeah, I'm super excited and happy and proud of myself. I'm doing the thing. I think that's what's cool about like vision boards, is that you can slowly see how it's starting to resemble your life. Like when I'm looking at this right now, I'm like, I see my life in a lot of these pictures. I don't know, it's really cool. So Q3 and so far 2023 is going pretty well, and so I'm super excited to talk about October. Let's plan a little bit for October and finish the year strong. All right, y'all, it's time to talk about October. So for October, I'm going to be traveling towards the end of the month. And so with YouTube, anytime I'm gonna be going somewhere, I really try to plan ahead and think about the things I'm gonna put down in my monthly reset to make sure that they're something I can still do even when I'm not at home. So the first category I think is wellness. I want to take the spend outdoors goals that I failed at and just make them 4 out of 7 days a week, so that's most days of the week. And I also wanted to do it like this way just because of the weather, and so like on and off. Although I think it would be really nice to spend every day outside. With the weather, I don't think this is the season for it because it's hurricane season. So also I think it would be really nice to exercise most days, again 4 out of 7 times a week, because we got to get back onto those goals. I used to put it on my goal list. I think I was like 50-50 on whether I would complete it or not, so we're gonna throw that in there. We're gonna move our bodies, and so we can only like get better for November and December, and then eventually like my whole life. So yeah, so for my YouTube goals, really, I don't have anything new. I feel very good with where I'm at right now, and I don't want to just add more YouTube goals or just new goals in general just for the sake of adding goals. So I'm just gonna repeat the exact same thing I did for YouTube for last month, which is continue to pre-film and continue to experiment with editing. I don't think that just because I completed it in 1 month means that I need to like completely throw it away and move on to the next goal, or if that means that I'm like solid in that as well. I don't feel like I'm an expert at editing, and I feel like with me traveling, I definitely need to pre-film more. Well, not necessarily more, but just prioritize it more than I did even this month. So something that's exciting is that I kind of planned all my videos for the year. There's a few days that I don't have anything planned yet, so I can just film whatever I'm feeling, but I have October good, I have November good, and December good. Definitely October and December. November has a lot of openings. So something that I'm very grateful with this YouTube thing is that I have not really felt like I'm running out of ideas or I don't know what to film. I just have so many ideas and I want to film them all. So I'm super excited for the videos coming up in the next few months, and yeah, I hope you'll stick around to see them. Okay, so then the last one is about productivity, and I think it would be really good to implement my rest, responsibilities, and recreation mindset and see how it affects my life. If I feel like I have an overall better quality of life, I feel like this is making my life all out of balance and I need to do some tweaks. I don't know. So we figured it out last month, my priorities. And now this month, I think it's time to put it into action and into practice and see if there's a change, if I feel like I'm getting everything I need to get done completed, if I'm still slacking, no say. So overall, these are all my goals. Still not a lot, and honestly, I'm liking the direction that it's headed into. We're wrapping up the year. I don't feel like I want to really add anything crazy or anything like that. I'm ready for October. It's spooky season. Let me know what your plans are for October and if you like this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.